Listen, good morning. It's great to have you on this call. I really appreciate you getting involved. My name is Del Hughes. I'm a utility warehouse partner. I help folk make money working alongside their main income stream from home. Really privileged to have three amazing, exceptional leaders in our company with bigger businesses than I have. So, Stuart, do you want to introduce yourself first of all?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Stuart Ritchie, and I've been in this business now since 2007. So, yeah, just a bit longer in the tooth, Dale. That's all it is. You're rocking and rolling, mate. So, really nice to be on here.
Nah, good. Sam?
So I'm Sam Earnshaw, and I'm the baby of the group. I joined only back in 2018, which say only, but it seems like I've always been here.
Been here forever.
I know.
And Karoline, what's your?
I'm Karoline Taylor, and I'm kind of in the middle there. We've been in the business since 2012, so we kind of Stuart had the beginning part of the awesome time last time, and we joined in on the end.
Yeah.
So we're all different parts of the UK. I'm up in Glasgow. Stuart, you're Midlands.
I'm down near Gatwick. Yeah.
Wow, That's certainly not Midlands. That's not Midlands. Sam, where are you? You're Yorkshire.
Yorkshire.
And Kent. So the only thing we haven't got is Cornwall.
We'll put that right next time.
Yeah. We've literally got
is that over the bottom left?
Haven't we?
Right.
Yeah.
So look, so we just want to touch on why we are all doing this role. We all probably had traditional jobs. Some of us maybe still do, more than likely not now because we're at leadership levels with UW. But we just want to figure out for the teams that watch this and for the people that are maybe see this on social media. I'll maybe go to Karoline first. Why do you think it's so important for folk to have that plan B, to have that multi-income individual option in today's world?
I think it is. I think you're right. It's a plan B, and I think people don't realise until life gets in the way how important it is. We've got lots of stories from our side of family where I've kind of been able to be there where I wouldn't have been able to be there ordinarily. But just simple stuff like today, took my son to the doctors just to get his chest looked at because he's had a terrible cough and everything else. And they say, oh, you must be there at 8 o'clock. 10:55 we walk out of there. But it was cool. It was fine. And he wasn't stressed and I wasn't stressed and none of us were stressed. But when you've got full-time jobs and employers and all, I remember when my son was, my eldest son was that age, it was a completely different story. The stress of I've got to get myself back to work. I've got to get him into school because he's not well, but he's got to go because if he doesn't go, I'm going to get in trouble at work. I'm going to get behind. I'm going to get nagged at. And it really does give. And I think for a lot of people, okay, like you say, we're a little bit further down the line now. So we have made that transition, but it wasn't always the way. We started working it alongside very, very busy lives and jobs and everything else. But slowly, it allowed us to buy back some of that time and to be able to then kind of reduce it back. And I think for me, that's what I particularly love to show people is the way that they can buy back some of their time. Maybe not even full time. They might want to just reduce their hours to 20 instead of 40, or something like that.
Sam, what about you? What kind of benefits do you feel come from having the multi-income individual?
So for me, when I joined, I only joined for the upfront income. So I've always been self-employed. I've been self-employed now for, about 12 years. And I decided 12 years ago when I got made redundant that I would never work for anyone again because I don't know if you've ever been made redundant, but it's like you've been dumped by your boyfriend. And even though I didn't like the job, it was good money and I had a car on the drive and it provided a really good life. And so getting made redundant with 2 weeks wage packet and that's that, and they come and pick your car up, it was completely soul destroying. So at that moment, I thought, right, I'm never going to work for someone else again. I need to do something though, because I've got to pay the bills. And so I'm a bit like Arthur Daly. I will do anything to pay the bills, and I'll give anything a shot, really. And I ended up setting up a teeth whitening business. To this day, I don't know why. I had no idea where that idea came from. And it was great in the fact that I had the flexibility to do it. But people would cancel at the drop of a hat. And every client that I had, they didn't come very often. So it was constantly trying to find new people to come. And there were gaps within the day. So I started doing a product selling business, thinking this is great. I've solved all the problems. But if anyone's ever done a product selling business, you've always got to find people to buy stuff. And unless you find those clients to buy stuff, you don't make anything. And then I had a team, and unless they sold something, I didn't earn anything. And I felt like I was on a hamster wheel working so many hours. When UW came along, I was really skeptical, because let's face it, it's bills, isn't it? It's not very glamorous. It's not teeth whitening. It's not selling makeup. But it's really quite. I thought it was really serious, and it was a proper type job. But I needed some money, and it was that upfront income. All I heard was £250 per customer, and I thought, well, that's worth a tenner. So I joined and earned the money. And gave up the teeth whitening, gave up the product selling business. And this is the only thing that I focused on, because it was just time versus money. It were a no-brainer. But now, that was just for my money. That was just so I could be financially independent. We had a little boy who was 3. We've still got him, he's just not 3.
Well, that's good. It's good to know.
Still there. But what we've noticed is, when I joined, it was extra lifestyle money. But now, even though John, my husband, he's got a successful business that brings in a really great income, it's still not enough now for the mortgage that's gone up by £700 a month.
Yeah.
And it's that lifestyle money that we're not going to give up going on holiday. We're not going to give up going away for weekends, because that's our lifestyle that we really, really want. But we know that we need to earn more, and that's what comes from the UW money. And it's that I think we can really help people. It's that takeaway on Friday money.
Yeah.
That going to the cinema, that is so flipping expensive if you've got kids. Do
you think that enough people in the UK are paying attention to what's coming down the line financially?
No.
That's a really good question. I mean, I think people tend to bury their head in the sand, don't they, until it actually happens. Even some of the more astute ones. I'm going to relate that to when I joined. I was in property and things were going really, really well. It was pre the credit crunch, 2007. It was easy to make money in property. And I joined UW not because I needed it. I joined it because somebody said, well, it seems to fit naturally. You're talking to property people who've got properties that need utilities. And then the credit crunch hit, and people had been saying it's going to happen at some point. It's going to happen at some point. We've got this system can't keep going on like it is. But when it hit, it was such a shock to me and to loads of other people. And actually, UW became the lifeline during that time, because even though it was early days and we didn't have the upfront money that we have now, it was just something massively positive in my life that was going on that helped me financially to a degree. But it was just about having some real positive focus. And I think there are difficult times out there right now already. People are already starting to feel it. But if it hasn't hit them personally yet, a lot of people have got their head in the sand until it actually does. And all I would say is don't wait until it does. Do it now. And then when the proverbial hits the fan, you've got something to fall back on.
Yeah. Don't wait till you're thirsty to dig your well.
Definitely.
We often talk about 2008 and what happened, and say that what's happening now is 2008 on steroids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I do think it is that thing where unless you're feeling that pain, you don't think it's going to happen to you. I only joined because I got a pain from the situation we were in, I didn't have enough money, and it was really stressful, and having that pit in your stomach thinking, I don't know how much I'm going to earn this month, and I don't know whether I can cover my bills. And for me, I didn't want to go to John to say, can I have? It was more I can't think of the word. But
Right.
I've looked at this business over the last 25 years. I was one of the first people to look at this business. I thought, oh my God, that is so boring. That's not for me. And that residual, what? Didn't get it. And I always thought I joined for the upfront income. Then I understood residual income, getting paid once you've done the job and you're getting paid month in month. And I always remember it was 40p. And it was like 40p, what did you do? But it was 40p that I didn't have to do anything for. And that's gone up month in, month out for the last nearly 6 years. But then I always thought, the residuals for when you're older, for when you want to retire, it's that retirement pot, that pension pot. But I've just had an operation where for the past 3 weeks, I didn't have to have a sick note. I still get paid regardless. And I never thought that this business would be for the just in case. Never even thought about it. But that's where that residual, whether I work or not, the bills get paid. And it's not for the old when you're old, but you can still work remotely. So I think it's just covered all bases now. It's just another layer, isn't it?
I think that's the magic moment, isn't it? Is when the passive income covers the essentials, the boring stuff. We've got residual bills. Why not have a residual income to cover the bills?
Yeah.
And when that happens, then the jobs or the extra things that we're doing on top, when they start paying for the fun stuff, makes it a bit more enjoyable to get out of bed in the morning and go and do it, isn't it? And of course, you still need contact, so that's a good place to go. But and that, I think I was exactly the same. You don't really truly get it and feel it and understand it until it happens, and then you go, "Oh my God, this is amazing."
Yeah, I mean, look at the lockdowns.
Yeah.
When the lockdowns happened and people were told go home, and what we're going to do about our jobs? Well, hopefully we'll find some money for you. And then everybody was, great, I've got 80% of my income on furlough. So actually, in some senses, that gave people a taste of what it's like to have residual income.
Totally.
They didn't have to go out and commute to work. They didn't pay for lunches while they were out. All the expenses that they have for going to work, they didn't have that. And they got 80% of their money. I know my girlfriend, she said to me that she just loved it. She was on furlough for 9 months. She didn't have to work. She went out bike riding every day, to get her hour of exercise, all this sort of stuff. And then when she had to go back to the office, like, this is really alien. I want a taste of, that lifestyle.
This is it's a live show, folks.
Is that a dog or a child?
You've got to have the postman turn up, haven't you?
Stuart, I think you're totally right with that pandemic thing. It was a mindset shift for every single person, realizing, for generations we get brought up in a world where you have to go clock in, clock out, and then this mad, pandemic comes along, and all of a sudden we're all instantly flipped onto an online world. Us doing this call right now, we would never have even thought to probably do this pre-pandemic, but yet we've got folk joining our business, and they're joining with excitement on fire, throwing themselves out there onto social media, and that's creating the engagement that helps to fill their diary so they can help people access the same. And that royalty income that is the furlough. Like when you're saying she was in furlough for 9 months, walk the dogs and all that, I'm just thinking, welcome to the life of a UWSGL.
Absolutely. Very powerful, isn't it? Very powerful.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. And again, we're all SGLs, so sometimes what we also need to do is we need to project the belief in the benefits for the newer people who are joining to make that £200-300, but they don't yet realise the bigger prize lies further down the line as long as they stay consistent. Like Stuart, you've always been a guy, I knew early in my days, when I would travel the UK, going to events, and I remember from day one, your focus, you were always like, look, Dale, yes, it's great to help people save money, but if you really want to help them and you really want to help yourself, you need to show them the opportunity.
Definitely.
And I was a salesman, so that language to me was alien. I was like, no, you go out. Well, I'm going to go out and sell utilities, but that road leads to failure in general. It's
Yeah, I
about
mean, you're
building.
right. We all have to find customers, and because they're the ones that pay the bills. We don't make money if we don't bring in customers. But I always remember the guy that introduced me saying to me, look, you can go and just get loads of customers. And if you do, your income will grow and grow and grow in a straight line, because the more effort you put in, the more income you'll get. But he said, if you also build a team and you help them to build teams and you duplicate that, your income's going to grow exponentially. It's that curve on the graph that goes up and up and up and up. And he just showed me that on a scrap of paper and said, which line do you like? And I said, the team building one, where it goes up and up and up. So from day one, I focused on that. My first month, I recruited twice as many partners as I signed customers, because that was my mindset that he thankfully instilled in me. And I've got to say, nothing against anybody that wants to just customer gather. That's perfectly fine if that's what they want to do. But if you can see that big picture from team building, the benefits it has. I mean, I think I get 94% of my income from the customers that the team have brought in, my passive income, and only 6% from my own, because there's a lot more of them than me.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
But I think as well, we're in that stage, aren't we, where people, yes, we can help them to save 20, 30, 40 quid, but that's not going to really make that much difference to their bank accounts. And so, I mean, I remember what it was like not having the money and that pit in your stomach. And I think now there's so many people that we can help really, really simply. And when I was self-employed with a conventional business or a product selling business, to earn extra money, it was trying to find people to spend money. And most self-employed businesses, you've got to go and find people to spend money. But in a time where most people are now thinking, do you know what, actually, I don't need a cleaner. I'm going to do that myself, or I'm not going to go and have my hair done as much or nails done, whatever. There's a lot of businesses that rely on people spending money, whereas us, it's just seeing if friends, family, people that we know can save money, which makes a conversation really, really simple to have. And if that then helps us to earn money, or that new partner to earn money, it's just so in line with what's happening right now. And that for me was the powerful thing. It's not asking people to spend any money.
I think people know, isn't it? It's the phrase, people know that they're not going to save their way out of what's happening, but they can make their way out of what's happening. Yeah, absolutely.
Karoline, your team is absolutely on fire right now. You've got team. You're down in Kent.
Yeah,
but you've actually got team in Glasgow. Some really good folk up here, and in Edinburgh. So you're all over the place. How do you see the next 3 years panning out for your business? I mean, are you super excited, or are you just kind of, this is going to be all right? How are you feeling about it?
Absolutely beyond excited. I'm getting butterflies just trying to contain how excited I am. For me, I think this everything up until now has been rehearsal. That's not even a word. Everything up until now has been rehearsal for what is about to happen. And it's been okay. I get it now. I know what we need to do. And for me, yes, I like money. I like nice things, and I like the security. I don't want to worry about money and things like that. But for me, being able to help other people, particularly with the mortgages going up. I know, again, it's not a massive percentage, but it is. People say, oh, well, in so-and-so 19,000 have frozen to death. It was so many percent. Yeah, but it only went up from there to there. Now the increase is huge. It's massive. And people have built their whole world around certain money coming in to go out. So to be able to, so like Sam said, even if they don't quite get the bigger picture yet or understand the power of what the real magic that's there, being able to help them earn an extra £500 to £1,000 a month. You know, some of the guys that you know, Dale, in our business, they're smashing 2,000 every month on top of a full-time job, on top of DJing at the weekend, on top of taking their kids to football in upfront money. But it's the fact that they're not going to lose their house, that their mortgage is, the increase in their mortgage is paid. And during that process, they're understanding the power of a passive income and how that can move on. So for me, what I'm really excited about at the moment is helping people to not worry about what's going on right now and say, do you know what? I'm not going to live in fear of all these increases and all this, you know, what's happened in the world to make this happen. At the end of the day, I'm going to earn some money and I'm going to not worry about it. And I enjoy helping them do that. And that's what I'm really excited about.
Who is the reddest personality of the four of us, would you say?
You.
No,
Yeah,
that's just my thinking about, because
Are you trying to win that competition? I think you are. Yeah.
You.
Oh, I'm the reddest.
Yeah.
I'm probably a little bit second or third.
What made you say that?
Just because I'm thinking, what about? Oh, so
What
Sam?
made you say who do you think's red? The reddest?
Because I'm just thinking that, honestly, because we've been on 21 minutes. I was thinking we'll close at 25, and really the red person should do the call to action. That's what I was thinking. I'm just like, look, you know, there's going to be a lot of people see this content. They're going to be from all four corners of the United Kingdom. And when they see this content, they have got a decision to make. And the decision that they've got to make is to stay stuck and stay worrying, because we can all see what's coming. You just need to turn on the news, or get unstuck by reaching out to whoever is promoted this video. Because when this video is on social media, it's on social media. This is our way of trying to help the UK public. And all we're really doing is leveraging the power of social media to increase the reach. But we already know, you know, we've all got big businesses. We've all been here a few years. We're all SGLs. So we've got the battle scars to show that it's not plain sailing. But we've also got the belief and the skills to ensure that people that we bring onto our teams are getting put onto a solid set of rail tracks, so that they're going to hit those wins, the 500, the 1,000, the 200, the £2,000 a month. You know, I mean, I don't mind sharing. My best month in Utility Warehouse and upfront income was £18,500 for 1 month.
Wow.
Now, that is way more than I ever earned in car sales. But yet, I'll go to some car sales guys and say, do you want to look at this position? And they're like, oh, no, it's fine. No, we need something that pays better. And I'm like, mate, I think you might have misjudged what I've just offered you here. So, you know, and Stuart, you know, I know he's got the biggest business probably of all of us. Stuart, I won't ask you numbers because we don't want to embarrass you. But, sorry, I won't ask you financial numbers, but I wouldn't. How big is your service base now?
So just over 100,000 services spread across 31,000 customers.
Wow.
So every month, UW pays me a little bit on every single one of those customers.
I'm getting goose pimples here.
Me too. I'm wondering why 25 years ago, why I thought it was going to be really boring, because I'm pretty sure, Stuart, you're sat there and every month on the 21st and your money goes into the bank. I bet you don't think it's quite boring. And
I'll often sit there. I'll often sit there with a cup of coffee in the hot tub on the 21st of the month in the morning, about 9:30 in the morning, going, this is so boring. This is so boring.
Making wee paper planes with £20 notes and just flinging them over the fence to the neighbour.
Yeah, but I do think the timing's got to be right, hasn't it? Because you know, me saying no 3 times, the timing was then right, and since joining, I'm like, oh, get this right, let's go, and we've run really, really fast, and it's completely and utterly changed our lives.
Yeah.
But I just think now for a tenner, A tenner, it's nothing. That's like cost of coffee.
2 Peronis.
It's and you get
Peronis,
refunded.
yeah.
That's the thing. And it's refundable, even if you earn money.
Can't get Peronis back.
And it's
Nope.
just, I don't get why more people don't just give it a shot, because yes, you've got the, but what if it doesn't? But I always think, but what if it does?
It does work.
Well, more are. I mean, that's now what's, I think, from the latest multi-income individual survey that was done, I think it's now 1 in 3 people in the UK are doing this. But that's very recent, you know, because times have dramatically changed with the pandemic and then online world. Now we've got AI. So, you know, it's only going to get faster. And I think, Sam, you know, we're seeing people more and more realize that they can, as I say, do what they've always done and get what they've always got, or they can look at a new way of doing things and get that change. So look, that's us, 25 minutes. Unless I've missed anything or anyone wants to close off on anything, I was just going to kind of press stop. But if anyone got anything else that they think might want to cover.
I think we've done a grand job, and I'm sure we're going to get plenty of good response from that.
Brilliant. So listen, if you have seen this on social media, please reach out to the UW partner that you know. If you don't know anyone, we've got Stuart Ritchie, you're on social media. We've got Sam Earnshaw, she's on social media. We've got Karoline Taylor on social media. My name's Del Hughes. So feel free to reach out to anyone that you need to. Other than that, listen, thanks a lot for jumping on. It's been great. It's been really actually good doing this, because this is the first time I've done a call with, you know, not to put other calls down, but just with, you know, people that are doing the do consistently, building big teams. So look, well done to everyone. All right.
Thank you, mate.